Hey guys, my name is Amit Das. I'm a senior application developer working in a MNC right now. So today we'll talk about how a web application works. Okay. So first we'll know what is a web application. First we'll talk about this. What is a web application? So web application is a client and server computer program. So what do you mean by client and what do you mean by server? So server is a machine where an application is hosted and client from where you access that application. Okay, so I'm taking facebook.com as an example. Okay, facebook.com is also a web application. So what, you use a web browser, that is Google Chrome, to access facebook.com. So that means your web browser, that is Google Chrome browser, is a client for facebook.com. Okay, and this facebook.com, as it is hosted in the server, so whenever you will hit facebook.com in your web browser, a request will go to the server from where it is being hosted. Okay, so how it works actually? So from a developer perspective, in a web application there is three layer. Okay, so first is front end layer, next is back end layer, and third is DB layer. Okay, so what do you mean? That is, one is front end layer, next is back end, and third is DB. So front end means what we see in the website, correct? So if in a browser, if we'll hit google.com, then what we will see in the browser, what the page will come, that is front end. So front end is responsible to load that thing in the web browser. So whenever we hit google.com in the front end, a request goes to backend, that means server. Okay, and server processes your request. So in that process, server may take help from DB to get the required data which is being stored in the database. Okay, so server requests data from DB, and DB sends data to backend. Okay, so DB sends data to backend. So using the data, server processes your request and send as response to the front end. Okay, so send a response to the front end, and front end technology loads that page in the web browser with a nice view. So this is how a web application works. So if you want to become a full stack web developer, so you will have to cover these three part. One is front end part, next is back end part, and third is DB part. Okay, so there are few technologies available to develop front end part. There are few technologies available for back end and DB as well. So for DB, SQL, NoSQL, you might have heard about all these things. For back end there are a lot of technology available, and from front end also you might have heard HTML, CSS, JS, and all that thing.